Howdy y'all, Voodoo coming at you. Y'all remember I've been talking about my ugly pipe. Alright, the outer coating started bubbling up on the first shot. First smoke, just horrible. Alright, so what I've done here is literally, I've smoked it a few times. I've rubbed on the coating a little bit just to try and get as much of it off as I can. We're not going to do a lot, but today I'm going to use a sander. So what I got, because this is what I got. This thing, Huva Ilta, Boris, how's it going? So just letting you know, it's gonna be a little bit loud. I don't control how loud this thing is. If it's too loud for you, just be aware. I'm going to tell you to turn the volume down as I start. I'm starting with 60 grit, moving to 80 grit, and finishing up the day at 120 grit. It's going to be a short video probably. You're not going to be able to hear me talk much, and I'm going to be concentrating on what I'm actually doing. So if you don't want to watch, hey, I understand completely. It's no big deal. In case anybody's wondering, yes, I am going to take the opportunity to just ram a pipe cleaner through there real quick. Now this is one that I've already used. I'm not trying to clean. I'm just trying to take off any extra. I mean, heck, it's open. Might as well. Alright. Some OGS on your balcony. Well, I wish your day was as warm as it is here. As you can see, I'm in a light t-shirt with no heat protection at all. I figured it was a good enough day to do this, so it's time to get it done. By the way, in case y'all have missed it, Mike at Briar Blues put out a Zoom meeting yesterday. That would be Sunday. What we had there was a bunch of pipe makers, and now I've heard two trains of thought there saying, hey, just use a chemical and steel wool, wipe it down, get it off of there. And I heard sanding. But with the pipe makers, they all said sanding, because you don't want to get any of that chemical into the briar, which it could taint your briar, it could possibly weaken the briar, and it could possibly end up putting chemicals into your smoke that you don't want. So, proof that I listen, especially when I'm asking an expert, what in the heck am I supposed to do with this crap? Alright, so I'm going to give y'all this opportunity to turn the volume down if you want. If not, whoo, 2 inches of snow and ice there. Yeah, that's about too many. So I'm going to get this started, and as I'm going to give you a before and after of each shot of this, okay? So I'm going to go with 60 to try and get this down as quick and as painlessly as possible. If I do need to work the stem to get it to fit, I'm going to do that on a later video. I'm not going to try and keep the stem on here while I'm sanding, mostly because right now the stem's still pretty. And I don't think I'm going to be taking a whole lot of wood off of here. I'm just going to be taking this top coat and getting rid of it. So, all right. Volume down if you want to. or you can let it rip like I'm going to. And here we go. Can't hear you. Luckily, so far, yeah, the 60 grit's tearing it down pretty fast. My hand is getting tired of holding the trigger. Keep your earplugs in. We're going for more. I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty happy with how fast this tore it down. I got a little more here to go. Some of that might be actually the stain. Some of it might not be. So, keep your earplugs in. We're almost out of it. Alright, so I'm not seeing any shiny spots on here. Well, there's one. And if any of y'all are wondering, no, I wasn't pressing really hard. I was just letting the machine do the work. And that was 60 grit. I thought about starting really high, but then somebody who was, you know, an expert reached out to me and told me, no, don't start high. And by high, I meant like 600, 700 grit, 800, you know, something like that. No, they said, all you're going to do is end up polishing the hell out of that stuff and it'll never come off. Yes, I do listen. So now I've switched to the 120. I'm going to skip the 80 grit because realistically it's not that much smaller in grit than the 60, and I have actually already used the 80 grit on a few things, and I'm not going to try and get that because, well, it was cedar. I'm not going to try and put that into the pipe in case it kind of scores into the briar. And I'm just going to real quick give it a quick scrub down with this, and then I'm going to show off all I've done, and that's all I'm doing today. It's just a little bit of light sanding, if you can call this light sanding, which I do. Try not to drop it, but it did. It's alright. No dents or dings. Howdy Piper 69, and I apologize for any of the volume that might have been excessive. One more spot, sorry. Alright, so if you saw where it started, this is back to basically bare, just about as unsanded as it gets. And I didn't bring any water with me, so we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Don't worry, I am never giving this pipe away, not after this being my first pipe to try and restore or redo. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to do this. This is me following the instructions of the guys who know better than I do. So I'm not suggesting this is the way to do it. I am going to wipe it down real quick with this shirt. It's a really soft shirt, so I don't have a problem with it. Let's see what we can get for a grain structure. How about that? Seems like something that I might actually enjoy smoking upon. Now, yes, I know licking it is not really the proper technique there. And some of these are... I am not done sanding. Totally done sanding. But what I started with was an ugly pipe. What I've gotten it to is still an ugly pipe. And the stem connects okay. Again, this is just a throwdown beater pipe. I am not looking for a perfect, oh my God, I'm going to sell this thing. In fact, probably will never sell this thing. I'm going to keep it around for a while. Howdy, Mark. How's it going today? But if you go back and look at the very front of the video, you will see that this started stained with a coating on top of it that was horrible. It bubbled up. It bubbled up right from the very first smoke, and I wasn't going to keep it that way, but because it smokes so damn well, I wanted to get it back to something that I could do something with. And as I've said before, I started with a 60 grit, and I moved to a 120 grit, and I did all the work on this little Ryobi sander attachment. Not trying to be a perfectionist. I'm not going to say that I can redo your pipes, but so far it took me about 15 minutes worth of work to take it from hideous to pretty decent, really. I've got all the old finish off of there and most of the stain. I'm going to continue to work on this on live feeds. I'm only going to work on it on live feeds. So if you see me saying, hey, we're doing some more with the ugly pipe, this is what I'm working on. And in between, I've got this feeling I will smoke a Bowler 5 out of this before I actually finish. Again, I am not looking for perfection. I am just looking to bring a pipe from so hideous that you would run from it and turning it into something that, for a knock-around pipe, carrying around in your pocket or out in the backyard or whatever, you're not embarrassed. And I'm seeing that if I, personally, no skills, all right, first time I've ever tried this, if I can do it, I've got a feeling that we can all do it. Now, if you want a pipe truly refinished, okay, send it to a professional. You want to sit there and do some of your own work, you know, that's, by all means, go ahead. But if you want it to go from hideous, the way this one started, and back to just something that everybody wants, I'm going to tell you, there's professionals out there. You get one of them to do it, unless you are really, really going to study what you're doing and how much of it you're doing. Now, being that I'm done really working on it for the day, and I'm just trying to fill up a little bit of time before I get out of here, I want y'all to remember, I asked the professionals. They said, do not use a chemical stripper. Sand it. Sand it back to smooth. Start over from there. If all the big dogs that were in Mike's feed yesterday, and there was Jeff and Mark, and not Mark from TPI, but well, you'll have to go back and look. And there was Mel Harris, and there was Jay Mouton, and oh God, some of the guys that are in there, and some of the pipes that they've already produced. And Simon was there. Hey, if you want to actually see what Simon looks like, you've got a chance. It's on a video, and I'm going to tell you, very informative, very, very fun. If you don't have the chance to look up that video, you're probably going to hate yourself for the rest of your life, because well worth your time. I did ask my question. They did get it answered. They said, don't use a chemical stripper, sand it out. So I listened, and I'm going to tell you, just from when I was smoking it and where the finish was starting to flake off, especially here in this area, I saw some really nice looking grain structure. So I'm really looking forward to getting down to that, seeing about figuring out what kind of stain. Now, from what I understand, you use a leather stain. You stain it with the leather stain. And then you go back and you sand that lightly, and then you stain it again. But I don't know if I'm going to go that far, or if I'm just going to get some Caranuba wax and go with that. It's hard for me to say. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that I do know. There's at least going to be 5 videos in this particular set. Again, I'm going to do all my work live just to show you, hey, look, this does not take a lot of time. Now, I don't have any of the equipment to go any farther, so I'm not going to sit there and try and do... Oh, so right there, Mark with Tobacco Pipes International. He's got a series on how to do this. Now again, I've only gone down to 120 grit, okay? I'd like to get this into 600 or 800 grit to get a really, really super smooth. And I'm thinking about doing a very, very light little carving of a tobacco leaf on one side or the other, or maybe both sides. I fancy that I can do pretty good at that. And I might continue just by hand to scrub down some of the spots where it's a little bit darker, but I think I've moved far enough now that trying to go with the machine is pretty much useless for me, unless I really want to just go all the way down through the briar material and probably end up destroying it. Now again, I decided to do this with this because it did smoke so well. It didn't smoke hot. If anybody's been watching the videos that I've made with this, I had it in my hand the whole time. It smokes nice and cool. There's no reason that stuff should have bubbled up, but it did. So this is just my fun little video set of what I decided to do. If y'all want to do something different, by all means, be my guest. But definitely, ask questions, watch some videos, and then let us know how it turned out. Try to do us a before and after. Before and after. It might be kind of hard to do a before and after, but that's why I'm doing this live, so you can see. Literally, when I started, this was all dark brown, and horrible. And as I work on it, I'm going to keep y'all informed on what I'm doing, how well I'm doing it. And if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, if you want a kibitz, you want to tell me what I'm doing wrong, by all means, leave any comments in the videos. I do like and talk back, so just saying, if you've decided, hey, look, you got to make a comment, I'm completely great with the fact that you did. Go ahead, jump in there, make a comment, and I'll get back to you probably as quickly as I can. Now, being that this is all about the pipe and not about the smoking of it, I'm going to get out of here. This is Monday, what, the 3rd or 4th, January 2021. Oh, real quick, so you can see that there is a very big, definite difference in grit. Okay, 60. And as you can see, that looks like rock salt. 80, which when you compare the 80 right next to the 60, you can still see that there's a lot of grain in there, but the grit is much smaller. And 120. So we're going to show all three of them together as best I can. Alright, so 60, 80, and 120. Now, from this point on, you'll only see 120 or smaller. And as I'm going to show you there, you can tell on the backs of these pads what grit you've got just by looking at your numbers. So that's 60, that's 80, and of course that's the 120. Past that, I've enjoyed having, holy cow, 5 of y'all on here. Todd, by the way, thanks for showing up. Sorry. And if any of y'all are watching the video, please start at the beginning. And when I tell you to put your earplugs in or turn the volume down, it's because I am going to be using this little machine here, and it's going to make some noise. I'm not doing that to upset or offend anybody, but you don't want to suddenly hear my little thing going off in your computer or your earphones or coming through on your phone, not at full decibel. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Now, it's not going to be like every week. I can't just go out and do and purchase everything that I want. And with COVID, I've got to make sure to go to the location where I'm going to get the stain from. Just want to go ahead and touch base and let y'all know, hey, thanks. I appreciate y'all showing up. Again, this is just Voodoo being Voodoo and doing what I do. As per normal. Y'all stay safe out there. And as always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Oh yeah, big bowl? Yeah. Big bowl. It's actually really deep. Big bowls and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.